Hello YouTube, and welcome back to part 3 of Let's Build a Wild West Town. And we're working on the little train station over here, and I've just been googling a few pictures, and I think there's a few things that I need to change. One of the things that I've seen that's come up regularly is there a little clock tower here. I think having that here would be a really cool idea because it's right in the centre of this main street. So, using this little back entrance that we had here, we're going to have some stairs that go up, and we can have a little second story building, and it can lead to the clock tower. And again, I don't think I've done clock towers before in Minecraft, so a lot of firsts for me in this series. We want the upstairs to be slightly thinner than the downstairs, so the wall's going to start one back, and it's going to go up to here like this. I don't know if we're going to do all the mechanisms or not with the clock tower yet, so I need to make that decision. Not too sure. That seem okay. I need to build this out, so we'll do that first. Build this out, and then it gives us an idea of how much actual roof we have to play with. There we go. The full blocks. More full blocks. And more full blocks. Don't really need to do this side, but you know, since I'm doing it. God, it's really windy today. It keeps sounding like my front door's just blowing open. Every time I hear it, I'm like, what was that? Slabs. I'm sorry that this is taking so long. It's just, this is one of those things that I have to do before I can actually carry on building anything. I'll probably cut all this out, so it'll be fine anyway. Yeah, it's just needs to be done. Again, now it's getting quite dark under here. Doesn't help that using the dark oak wood. Just get some torches, just dot them about so we can actually see what's going on. That works. And then some slabs here as well. Okay, there we go. So we've got that done now. It's a very, very long building, and in fact, why the hell not? We'll just bring this wall out all the way to, well, there. So only one extra block really. But what I've done now is it's gone in by one block on each side. So it's, that's the right one, is it? No, it must be there. There we go. And I can get rid of all of these blocks. We'll be doing the same like we did over there where we were going to be. It's going to be there. We're going to be doing what we did before with the log blocks, you know, making it look structurized and stuff like that. Don't even know if structurized is a word, but it is now. Put that in. Bring that all across. And this has been so much easier to do without the roof being in place, but you know, what you gotta do. So we can actually get rid of this roof now. Just punch all these blocks out, and we can actually see what sort of space we have to work with. Now up here, I don't know whether to have just general storage space or whether to have an actual bedroom and stuff like that. I think just general storage is probably a good idea. It could be like a little I was going to say post office, but I was planning on having a separate building for the post office. So we can come in here, the stairs can be on that side, so you've got to walk all the way around and then come up. Stair blocks. What material should we use? Should we go for oak stairs? We could just put 1, 2, 3, get rid of that, 4, and that'll be the right size, so we can put these, that beam back in. And do I have oak slabs? Nope. So I want some oak slabs as well. and then we can actually make a ceiling. And the ceiling's just going to be really, really basic, and we're just going to do this for all these sections. Just keep it nice and simple. It's not a fancy building. So we're just going to do that. I also had a comment the other day on one of my videos about how to use some of the buildings that I do using the console versions of the games, and that's like got me thinking about different stuff like that, because I've never really thought about doing specific stuff for the console versions and default Minecrafters, but I really want that there. But there's so many things that change because of Conquest. Sometimes it's a bit too hard, but I will try and come up with ideas whilst doing this series of like alternatives that you can use. I mean, pretty much all the time it's just going to be, you can just use that same block, it's just the material's going to be different. But when we get onto using the Conquest specific blocks, I'll try bear that stuff in mind so that it's not as strange for you guys. So I even think I want to do something like this. It's going to have to be 5 wide. Yeah, so we're going to have a little bit of a ledge roof thing here, like that, just to make it different to this part of the roof so it's not all the same. And then our clock tower can go in a block, so it'll be a square, so that's 5 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks and 5 blocks. So this can be our clock tower now. And no idea how I'm going to do this clock tower. I think we'll start off first by actually putting in some roof. This shouldn't take too long, it's just a simple A-frame roof. And I don't know if I'll do the randomization on camera or not, because I've done the roof video in my how-to series. So if you need to know how I do that, you can always go back and watch those videos. Otherwise it's just sort of going over the same things over and over and over, and that's not really that fun to watch. And I think as well we're just going to go for some slabs out the bottom here, just to make it, give the roof that little bit of a curve and make it a bit more interesting. Planks there. I need the stir overhang. Always have overhangs on your buildings. It's a very, very rare occasion that you don't need an overhang. Overhangs just make the whole building in general look a lot better. So that's one pro tip for you. Just gonna come along here like that, and we want slabs along there, so doing stairs like this. I didn't realise how much time I was actually going to spend just doing this tiny bit of roof. There we go. Right, and then we can just bring that slab all along there, do another slab along the top here. That slab can go along the top. And you see, I'm trying to keep it very, very simple and very basic. I'm not trying to do any big fancy bits of roof or anything like that. And that's deliberate for the style. There we go, that's not looking too bad. I think that's actually looking a lot better than it was, you know, before the start of this episode. Now I'm just going to quickly go to Google Images and check out one of the clock towers and see what sort of designs they've got. Alright, so I've just had a quick look at some ideas, and I still have no idea really how this clock tower is actually going to work. I think we're going to have to utilise some stir blocks, and to do that it's going to be very hobbity in my opinion, so we're going to be doing this. I don't know if we want the clock face on all 4 sides as well. I suppose we would, but there we go. We need to get some jungle wood stairs. And again, I will be changing the material from jungle wood before anyone starts like going mental at me for that. I'd like to build out of one material and then go back and add all of the detail and stuff later. I just find it a lot easier and simpler to do it that way. And up here we can have a big spirey type roof. So something along the lines of this. That's about right, isn't it? Yeah, so we'll be changing the material again to the dark oak, probably to match that. What can we use for in here? I'm thinking to give this a bit of light as well. We might be able to use ice. We'll see how it looks. How does this look then? We do have a few different blocks we can choose between as well, so doesn't quite work. If I do P time night, see, that's what the effect I was going for, that it's giving off light over there, but P time day. But in the daytime, the ice, it just looks too odd, and that's probably because of the glowstone right behind it. What if we put glowstone underneath? I would still give it the same effect of being lit up. It still kind of works. What other materials do we have? We don't really have any other white materials. I could try to change the biome. Could go for not the biome, the metadata, but then that's too see-through, isn't it? If we got rid of that block and did that, no, it still doesn't really work, does it? There's not really any other ones. I suppose that's a bit whiter, but it's also a bit more see-through. And we'll just leave it how it was as normal ice, and we can add stuff to the faces here to detail them as well. That's not even changing. That one's changed. Have I punched out that block? That's why. So there we go. So there's our clock tower on our lovely little train station. And looking at it from here, I think this is starting to come together quite nicely. The next episode I'm going to be detailing the exterior, then we'll hopefully move on to the interior, and we'll get to the train station pretty soon, hopefully. Not the train station, where I'm at. We'll get to the train pretty soon, hopefully. Then I also need to go get my list of other buildings from the other plot, and we can get started on some of them. The idea that I'm going for here is going to have a big long main street, and then another big long main street, so it's just going to be like a T shape. And over that side we're going to have just general houses down, like lots of tight back alleys and stuff like that. I think that's going to look really, really cool, and a nice big cliff here. I think it's going to really frame the town quite nicely, and again, high Eiffel Tower. That's it for this episode, guys. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.